Hey there, today I want to talk about characters and conflict. When you're writing a cast of characters, one of the pitfalls you can fall into is to reproduce copies of yourself. Your characters tend to be alike in some way. After all, a trio of friends would have the same type of interest, right? Similar music taste, similar approach to problem solving, right? Wrong. Let's say you want to write a story about three teenage girls who get stranded together after a field trip to the local museum. If they're all dressed in black and into heavy metal, and they're called, Cindy, Susan, and Sandra, you're making it very hard for us to tell them apart. And these three girls will likely agree on most things. Not only does it make it super hard for your readers to tell characters apart if they're too alike, it's also much harder to write interesting scenes. And when everyone agrees, you miss out on the key ingredient in storytelling, conflict. If you work a little harder coming up with unique talents, traits, and backstories for characters, and really focus on making them different on almost every level, you'll find it breathes new life into scenes and create interesting arguments and surprising ways for your characters to get out of whatever trouble they're in, and a whole new set of troubles both externally and internally. In classic role-playing games and in movies like The Lord of the Rings, you have a party of very different characters, both in race, skill set, and values, making it much more interesting than if you had, 5 bow-slinging elves with long flowy hair and perfect skin, right? One approach could be to think of your cast of characters in terms of archetypes or stereotypes. In the movie The Breakfast Club, it's the jock, the nerd, the popular girl, the weirdo, and the bad boy, for example. Or maybe even think of them in terms of what animal they might be represented by in a fable or a cartoon. A detective with owl-like traits is very different from a fox detective or a bull detective. Even if no one notices, it can help you with writing to base your characters off of different spirit animals. Or maybe use the 4 elements, earth, wind, fire, what's the 4th one, to create a different and more interesting set of characters. Your story will be better off for it. Needless to say, with the villain of the story and all the other characters the protagonist needs to deal with along the way, it's even more crucial that they're varied and different. They might be striving for the same goal as your hero, finding the treasure, getting the girl, ruling the galaxy, but their approach and value system must be fundamentally different. Start out with the basics. Make sure one of your characters is white, the other is black, one is rich, the other is poor, one is educated, and the other is illiterate. Then you can start to layer on other traits that make the characters more rounded, multi-layered, and interesting. You can create a compelling backstory or a noble goal that makes it possible for us to empathize even with the villain. Sometimes the hero and the villain are almost like 2 sides of the same coin, similar in more ways than one, like some twisted mirror image. The mirror analogy is also worth noting for every other character in your story because they reflect back on your protagonist and show them different sides of themselves, bringing out different traits, conflicts, and realizations that they would otherwise be ignorant to. This also creates conflict, not just between characters, but also inner conflict. And conflict is the fuel you need to get your story moving. Alright, I hope this was helpful somehow. If you're interested in more about storytelling and how to write and draw comics, hop on over to comicsforbeginners.com. You can sign up for my free 7-day comics crash course just by signing up with your email. It's, like I said, it's free and no spam, I promise. Thanks.